All right, guys, Anthropic released a really cool feature today called Claude Managed Agents. I think it's going to be a game changer. I think it's going to automate a ton of workflows at companies, as well as probably replace some teams altogether. Because now you can actually create agents inside of the Anthropic and Claude ecosystem using just plain English and not needing to know really too much how to code. Okay, let's dive into managed agents. Most people I know are still just chatting with Claude or ChatGPT. Agents take that a step further and actually take actions based on the commands or prompts that you give it. The issue with actually building your own agents is you actually need to be pretty technical to do it. You need to know how to code. You need to know how to set up a sandbox environment for those agents to run commands. You also need to know how to build tools that make your agents actually useful. What Claude Managed Agents does is it takes away all that technical hassle and it allows you to create agents using just plain English. And all of the commands and tools live in Claude's and Anthropic's cloud account. So you don't have to worry about any of the security issues with having an agent running locally on your laptop. So they just released this feature today. I would highly recommend you guys go to this blog post and read more about it. What I'm going to do next is actually show how you can actually build an agent. What you need to do is go to platform.claude.com. You can just sign in using your regular Anthropic account ID. And here, if you go to Quick Start under Managed Agents, you can actually start describing what you want in plain English. So I'm going to write that I want to build, a content research agent that searches Google for the latest AI trends and writes a report on the top 5 most popular for a blog post. Okay, cool. So that took a lot longer, mainly because I needed to actually write more than anything. But as you can see, Claude is taking my, natural language input and it's actually converting it into a agent file and like a system prompt for an agent. I'm going to say create this agent. And now what it's actually going to do is start creating this, and then it's going to ask to configure the environment. So this is actually creating a environment in Anthropic's cloud account for the agent to actually use some of the tools right here to actually do the work. So here it's giving the system prompt for the agent. And so in order for it to actually go and do the web search, it needs its own environment to run those commands. So once you hit configure environment, it's going to go through the process of creating a cloud container. And so let's actually let this run for a sec. And then it's going to ask a couple of questions. You want to use your existing one or create a new one? Let's create a new one for this agent. And this should take not too much time. And then what networking? Okay, so since it's using web search, limited networking is fine. Let's just use unrestricted networking for now, so they can access all the websites that it needs. And then here it's got my Anthropic API key, so it is using, from my understanding, our Anthropic account. And then it says turn it on. So let's do a test run. So here you can actually see the environment where you can actually run the command. So I'm gonna use the prompt that Anthropic gives me. Let's send. And then I'm going to let this run for a sec. Usually, these aren't super quick. So let's let it run for, maybe a minute or so. And then we can see what the actual output was. Okay, cool. So my agent actually finished the prompt. You can see the entire trace. So it took my user prompt, it did some thinking, then it used the web search tool and queried to find the latest trends in AI, returned that back to the model, thought through some things, and then actually gave out an output. If we actually go into view session here, you can click in and get a little bit deeper, but this is the message that the agent actually gave back to me. In the future, I think what's really cool is that you can actually have this connected to your Google Drive or your Notion page, and it'll actually output this report directly into Notion. Now, I'm showing an extremely simple, very straightforward one tool call agent. Where this gets really powerful is when you can actually start using these agents as part of your internal workflows or even external workflows, where users are maybe uploading images, maybe they're uploading support tickets or any sort of errors that they're getting, and it can actually query across maybe your knowledge base or the internet to find fixes for it. But this in the past would be something that you would have to code up yourself, and now Anthropic has released this awesome feature where you can basically just build an agent. It actually lives here. If you go to the far left, you can actually see this is live right now. It's using this model. It was created about a couple minutes ago. And now you have this fully running agent that you can schedule and actually have running and automate a lot of your workflows. All right, guys, so that's the video for today. If you found value out of it, I do post on YouTube and TikTok as much as I can. I post on TikTok daily. and I post on YouTube at least once or twice a week, primarily on how I'm using AI to grow my business. If you guys find value out of this content, follow me on YouTube or follow me on TikTok. But outside that, I'll see you guys in the next video. See y'all.